Alright. So, what exactly happened last time? What do you guys think happened last time?
I made friends.
Well, is this an interactive game now?
Fuck, we have to
What?
roleplay in the intro?
No.
And we met Iron Man and we fought some rust monsters. And
His boss was kind of a dick.
yeah. And Muse doesn't
I
like
threw
paper.
caltrops to distract the enemy. I'm still proud of that.
An uncharacteristically
I didn't
smart idea.
die, despite being small and squishy.
Muse got
You actually didn't,
PTSD
that's
from
very
papers.
Muse didn't accept the papers back.
And I might have gotten Tim's in a job.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Probably
I don't
not.
think so.
Probably not.
You attempted.
I gave it my best shot.
An attempt was made.
Gold star, like the shitty gold star, there was an
You tried.
Okay.
Good
So-
try.
Hey.
Good try, yeah. So the last time we were kind of semi-forced together as you left the Third Wish Inn. You went to investigate Jeremy Stark's disappearance of iron ore from what is normally salt mines. Upon investigation, not only did you discover, like, rust monsters had been eating all the iron ore, but it looks like you guys found a long-forgotten, maybe shrine, temple, or bunker. Well, actually, it was more of a tomb, since there was a dead body inside. But
Isn't there multiple?
well, there was the dead body of the fighter, and there was the dead body of what must have been a Hydra at some point. And then most of the what do you call them? Walls were kind of crumbled in. What you guys discovered was deliberately. And you found a bunch of documents and historical artifacts that date back 500 years to King Elton's War. So it's within this place that other forces made themselves known, though their involvement is yet to truly be seen. For now, we're going to move forward. We're following our party to the steps of the Greenwood School of Arcane Arts. And let me just eat.
Oh, there's no birds on this version of the song. How will Vod
So-
complain about the birds now?
Fuck the bird. I
Okay,
fucking hated
racist.
listening to them. No.
Yeah, rude.
Wait,
They
do you mean fuck?
just-
You mean
I
fuck the
thought
birds
we were
or fuck
friends.
the birds?
No.
Okay, we're moving on.
But I want to dig this hole deeper.
Nope. So the school itself stands a mere 2 stories tall. It's made of brown brick and pine wood, and the roof is thatch and in need of desperate repair. There are no windows, only the front door, which is ringed with runes, though it's kind of uncertain if they're active or not. And the 4 of you are been stepping forward, following Alarith up the dirt path lined with little mushrooms. The wooden door has a large metal knocker on it in the shape of a toad, but Alarith, you don't really need to knock to walk inside. And
Sally's gonna pick some of the mushrooms on the way in.
all right, do you want to make a nature check to see what kind they are?
Sure.
I can't believe
Alright, first
Callie
roll,
is the
go-
Inri of this campaign.
No, it's just 22.
Wait, what?
Where'd you roll?
Oh, sorry, I rolled on. Give me a minute.
It was like, I was like, Callie's 22. Oh,
Oh.
Oh.
14. Well, they're
Wait, is
Kinda
that
common.
should that be 18? Is
Plus-
that because
is
that
that
was
a
supposed to
plus
be a
4?
plus and it was an equal?
Wait,
possibly.
let me roll again.
Let's try.
Third
One more
time's the
time.
charm. This is why I set up macros, guys. Just so you know.
Oh,
that was-
Oh,
Never mind then. No,
Well,
I just picked the pretty ones.
Yeah, they're all kind of different colors, and like there's some that are like more orange or more beige, and some are a little bit reddish, but they're all like common enough that you've seen them in the forest, so you're not really that concerned.
Okay.
So let me just no, that's
just-
the wrong thing. Go ahead.
Just the pretty ones.
Yeah. Let me just open the door. Okay. So it's not exactly what you guys kind of expect when you think of a magical school. The floor is kind of like bits of brick and wood, and it's kind of creaky. The paint on the walls is kind of spotty and peeling in places. And a large grandfather clock sits between two sets of stairs, and it looks like it's kind of broken. Like the the hour arm is not moving, or appears to be stuck at noon, even though it's not noon.
it's
high
are you sure it's not high noon?
It's not high noon.
It's
I can't
high
believe I
4
beat
o'clock.
Todd to it.
I was being patient for the description to be over.
You fool. You missed your chance.
So the building itself is lit by hanging lanterns that illuminate the space in a pinkish kind of hue. And if any of you are of magic knowledge, you would know that these are dancing lights that decorate the ceiling in little, almost like fluorescent light. There is the sound of a fireplace to your left, and to your right is the sound of a harp. Alarith, you know that to your left is where the library is, where all of your tomes and books and scrolls are, and to your right, you know that that's where all the classroom is, where you guys do all your magicy shit.
Technical term for it.
Let me just give you some of this.
Can I
Goobity
ask a
boop.
really stupid question really quick?
Yes, go ahead.
Did you say how long it was traveling from the mines to here?
I did not, but I would say
Oh,
from going to the mines to getting into the mines to coming back out and coming here, it would have taken you about 3 hours at best, if you were quick
Okay.
about it.
I
So
thank
there's the
you.
classroom. Yep, there's the classroom. There's fireplace. Alarith, you are
Yeah.
now technically home. And from this direction in the study, sorry, my voice is cracking. From this direction in the study, you hear a very old, kind of grumbling voice, and you hear, "Get over here, hatchling. Show me who you brought." And you recognize the voice of your headmistress.
Ilarith will just kind of look back to the group and motion for them to follow her.
Alright.
So the study is to the right?
Left.
The left?
Yeah.
I know directions. I'm tired.
It's fine. We all are. Oh
Yeah.
no. There's a square. Before you, in a cushy looking rocking chair, sits a very weathered green dragonborn woman. Her scales are yellowing in places. Her hands are kind of in this permanent clenching motion. She kind of sits by the fire and she's holding this paper and envelope up to her face, and her spectacles that are small and made of two-colored glass glint in the firelight. And she's kind of half paying attention to you approaching her, and she kind of leans back in her chair and looks up at Alarith and goes, she kind of holds up the letter in her hand and she goes, "You know, my idiot son is writing to me. You know what he tells me? He tells me the Thou ships are entering the northern ports and they're seeking our aid, no doubt. And he tells me he wants to join them in their little crusade." And she kind of like throws the letter into the fire. What bullshit is
I want
that?
to be her son. Not want to be her son.
What man likes war? Especially a greedy war. She kind of watches the letter burn for a moment, and there's that awkward silence where you think she's going to say something again, so you kind of just wait patiently for her to kind of get her brain together before she goes, "You know, I heard there was a kobold fighting at the Abyss at the Third Wish. There's not a lot of kobolds in Revmore. Is that you?"
Alarith will just nod. Yes.
Knew you'd come back. I wish you'd done it a little sooner. Had to spare me from Kiefer prattling on about you. A fucking elf. That kid fancies you, and I've learned everything about you against my will. Do not subject me to this again. Where have you been, Alarith?
We got my group of friends, people here. We got asked to do a task mission in the mines.
And she kind of looks over at the rest of you. She kind of browses over Muse. Her attention kind of settles more on Callie and Sindri. She kind of like squints and she goes, "So what were you doing with a tiefling, an Aarakocra, and a furbolg in the mines?"
It was Mr. Stark, and there was iron being stolen from the mines, even though it's a salt mine, and we were tasked to find the source of what was taking it.
What did you find?
Monsters.
Who rolled the check last time to actually identify them?
I think I did, but I got really low, so I didn't know what they were.
Dang. They were some kind of bug monster. It corrosed metal and ate it.
Creatures these days are getting more and more clever. I don't like it. I'm glad you're alive. That would have sucked. As the kids say. I don't understand that.
How are you doing, fellow kids?
Fellow kids. I'm glad to be alive too. Alarith will kind of give her
Hope
a smile.
so,
at
unless
that.
she kind of looks at you like, "I would hope you're glad to be alive, otherwise I'd have some very concerning questions for you." She kind of like scoots around in her chair. You hear it scrape against the floorboards, and she kind of turns her attention to Callie. She goes, "I don't see a lot of furbolgs in Revmore. What are you doing here?" I know every furbolg because there's not that many.
I don't actually think I had figured out why Callie was there. Other than my goddess sent me a vision. She said to come here.
So, some sort of holy mission then. I hope you have luck with whatever she wants you to do. Which is it? Fitia or Fianni?
Heck yeah.
Had to, of course. That lady likes to mess with people, so just keep on your toes. What about you, bird? She kind of looks at you, Sindri.
Me?
Yes, there's no other bird here.
That's good.
Well, technically there's one, but we don't talk about it. But go ahead.
I'm exploring.
Exploring. How far have you been exploring?
How far have I been exploring?
I don't know, Moon. How
God.
far have you been exploring?
God, I need an answer, please.
I don't know. A while.
Not a lot of Arakocras in this place anymore. Most of them flew south.
For the winter.
Yes, actually. They wanted to get an early start. Now that storm season's coming.
That's okay. The cold never bothered me anyway.
I hate it here.
And disconnect.
Why do I hear combat music playing?
Let me go
Dun,
get the
dun,
battle
dun,
music.
Dun, 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 dun.
Parts.
Okay, so as you're all kind of like talking to this woman, you hear. Let me just. Oopsie. You hear from the balcony that's above you. You hear a door open and shut, and from out of the door you see. Whoopsie! Come on. A young-looking woman. She's got very wild red hair. She's very short. You're not really sure if it's a gnome or a dwarf. She doesn't have a beard, so you'd think gnome or halfling. But Alarith, you know your classmate, Cathra, anywhere. And she looks down and she sees you, and she kind of just like stops for a second and then immediately sprints for the staircase all the way down, shoves past Sindri and Muse, and runs up to you and claps her hands on your shoulder, and she goes, "Where have you been? I was worried about you. I thought something snatched you. You're so little."
Alarith will just kind of blink a little bit. Oh, I got stuck at the third wish last night.
Oh my god. Ugh. And she kind of like... She's normally looks a little bit kind of beaten up because she works with her hands a lot, but she looks a little worse for wear. In fact, now that you've noticed, Nana Greenwood kind of looks a little worse for wear too. Like they all kind of look like something happened and they got a little banged up last night. Catherine's kind of just like gripping you with her big dwarf hands that are kind of crushing your shoulder, and she's like, it was really bad last night over here. There was these things from the sky, and they were just snatching people, and they were trying to carry them up, but some people were too heavy, so they dropped them, and... Oh, gosh. She kind of, like, takes her hand off and just plays with her hair.
Alarith will just nod and she'll say, "Seems we got the easier side of things."
Yeah, I heard it was all over the city. We volunteered to help since, we have some abilities, but some people from the northern section and near the gates, they got it really bad, and I heard that some people aren't with us anymore. Last time I heard it was about 8 dead, but I don't know, at least
Alarith will just bow her head at that.
Clayman's here earlier, but he left. He had to go. He's volunteering to help the church with gathering the wounded and assisting them there. So, yeah. I it was not a fun time. And you didn't come back, and Kiefer, he got really worried, so he stayed to see if you'd come back, and then you didn't, and then you know how he is, and he's just like, oh, I'm gonna talk for forever, and maybe then it'll will it to happen, and he's annoying. Oh my gosh. And she kind of shakes her hands out like she's nervous. Well, at least you're okay. Wait, no, actually, you're not okay. You're bleeding. Why are you bleeding?
We got sidetracked coming back. Long story.
Okay. She kind of realizes that there's other people in the room now, and she kind of whirls around to look at the rest of you. She's like, okay, I don't know anyone here. Who is these? Who is that? Who did you... You have friends now?
Wow. Rude.
Damn. Straight for the throat. You got friends now?
You have friends now? You have people who like you? Wild. Alarith will sort of motion at them as if to say, "Come on, introduce yourselves."
I'm Muse.
Okay. Sindri.
Callie.
Callie. Okay. Whew. Sorry, it's just a lot happened last night.
Yeah, we thought
I
those
didn't-
things.
Oh. Well, we fought bird things. It was not fun.
Yeah.
I don't even know where they came from. We haven't had an attack in so long, and all over the city too. I mean, at least the churches weren't harmed. That would have been upsetting. And you hear Greenwood from her chair. She goes, the Abyss fears holy magic. It won't attack it. And that's how it's always been. And Cathra kind of takes you by the hand, Alareth, and she kind of squeezes just to she seems like she's just kind of making sure that you're actually still here and okay. And she's kind of giving you a small little pat down with her eyes. And-
I'm okay, really. Thank you. I'm sorry to trouble you.
And Greenwood kind of just pipes up from her chair as she seems wont to do. It's just, it's not trouble as long as you come back. I'm technically responsible for you, so yeah, just keep coming back. That's all I ask. And don't commit a crime. That's my 2 rules. And she kind of holds up 2 of her clawed fingers. 2 rules.
But committing crimes is fun. Alarith would just give her a nod at that.
Cathara kind of gives you a little tug on your arm and goes, we should let the others know that you're okay. I mean, they'd probably be worried.
Okay.
And she kind of gently guides you back into the main hall.
Alarith will look back at the other ones as if to say, "You coming?"
yeah, we're friends now.
Yeah.
You have to come.
You're socially obligated to follow.
As you guys come out back into the main hall, from the top of the stairs, you see another room open, and from it, you see a very big green dragonborn. Much younger looking, much more bulky than Greenwood is. To be honest, how do I describe it? He looks a lot like a giant T-Rex. Very big square of a guy.
Big
And,
head, little arms.
I would say, for a big, bulky looking guy, his arms are not that, buff. He looks just like a big square man. He kind of like looks over down at you, and he kind of gives you a big grin. And he is missing a little bit, a few of his teeth. Alarith, he is normally covered in scars, but it looks like there's a new one. There's a new, fresh one that's kind of going from his jaw all the way up his cheek, and it almost goes into his eye, but
Yeesh.
almost. Yeah. And he kind of makes it down the stairs, and you hear your classmate, Garrick, kind of like openly just go, Alarith, you're alive. Thank goodness. See, I told you she'd come back. And he kind of like glances up at the rest of you, and the rest of you see this big guy, and he's just scarred to shit. Like, his arms have scars on them. He's missing a few teeth. He's got that nasty gash on his face. Just like, this kid has been through the ringer, and you don't know like how bad it's, like how many scars he has because he's wearing clothes, but like, yikes. We had a fun night last night. I wouldn't call it fun. Your arm caught on fire. It was a fun night. It was a very fun night.
I'm
about
glad
you?
We got stuck at the third wish,
Mm.
and then
Is it with the
Sorry.
God? What's that kid's name? The little blonde one.
Tammy?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh no, she was nice.
Oh, she was
Sometimes
mean as hell to me.
I say sometimes.
Okay, yeah, well, that tracks. Well, he kind of like points out the scar on his cheek, and he goes, "Got another one. Adding it to the list."
How did you get that one?
Well, I will tell you how. So, you know, we were fighting out in the front, yeah? So, like, these big, like, bird things, they were all over the damn place. And Lyle apparently decided to just turn invisible and hide because, I don't know, he's an asshole. But we were just standing there, we were fighting them, and I decided I was gonna use, like, my knife, and I was holding the knife, and I was gonna cast a spell, right?
Hmm.
But apparently, the shockwave from that broke the knife, and yikes! It was not fun.
But you said it was fun.
I mean, well, it wasn't. It was not fun for like 2 minutes, and then it got fun again.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. It gives me character, you know. Some girls like scars; they think it's attractive.
All right, Garrus Vicarian. Jeez.
Base T-Rex. Kaffir kind of like rolls her eyes at him. She goes, "You've been saying that every time you got a scar, and yet you still have no girlfriend." And Garrett kind of like laughs, and he goes, "Oh God, don't make me laugh. That hurt." Oh, some girl will find my mutilated corpse very, very attractive someday. I guarantee.
Isn't that
She kinda,
illegal?
like, Lareth, this is where we talk about how jokes work, okay?
Oh,
Not everything I say has to be taken literally.
sorry.
Okay. Did you see Kiefer lately? And Kathra kind of like looks up at her and him, sorry, and is like, he was out. I think he came back in. I have no idea. I know Lyle is here because I can still hear him. And the entire time you guys have been talking, there has been like very like angry, and I don't know how to specifically describe this, but is the most angry harp music you've ever heard in your life. It's like whoever is playing it is plucking it like they're going to kill someone. It's like they're trying to rip the strings off the harp.
The harp
And-
music.
It's metal harp music.
Darkness, dead parents. Tweet, tweet, tweet.
Like from the learning room, all you hear is da 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 fuck da 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 fuck da 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 fuck fuck. And you just hear someone over and over like screwing up some sort of chord or notes and is just getting angrier and angrier with whatever they're trying to do. And Alarith, you know your classmate Lyle, who lives here with you, wants to do that, so yikes. Catherine kind of steps forward into the learning wing and kind of motions for the rest of you to follow. So as you come in here, there is the ring, the learning ring. It's a bit wider than the other rooms, with two sets of stairs leading to two platforms that appear to be private study areas. Kind of like how some universities have like a private study room or like a private study space. Let me just... Yep. Okay. So, in the center of the room, you see the ring of podiums with the intricate magic circle that sits in the middle. It is painted onto the brick and wood below you. And you are all immediately aware of the halfling man sitting on a bunch of chests with a harp that is twice the size in his arms. And unlike the others, like Garrick and your headmistress and Cathra, Lyle does not look as beat up as the others, which, for now at least, until Cathra decides that she's going to change that. The rest of you, Sindri, you kind of recognize the tune. It's like you feel like you've heard it definitely at some pit stops you've made. It's a love song. But it's very badly done.
Aww.
Tragic. No romance here today, kids.
Man's here today.
Wallmance.
And Catherine kind of looks over at the halfling and goes, Lyle, Alarith's here. And you hear Lyle just kind of pluck and stop and kind of lets the note ring out.
It makes the stereotypical twang.
Yeah. He just kind of he gives a very dramatic and angry sigh and he goes, I am trying to vibe, go away. And he continues back with his song.
I want to yell it, not in Alarith's character, but I want to be like, my vibes that rancid.
Alarith, you're Alarith. Catherine kind of looks over at you and she kind of rolls her eyes and she goes, so Lyle's in love. And Lyle stops again and he goes, she is my future wife. You will not disrespect her in this manner. And he goes back to his playing of music. And Catherine gonna go,
Who is he in love with?
okay, so when we were defending the school, we ended up needing help, and this lady came over, and she was one of those Black Knight guys, those monster hunters. And so she was helping out, and Lyle apparently decided that he was going to marry that.
Is that how it works?
Apparently, I guess.
Did she have an opinion?
He didn't even talk to her. He just stared at her like, oh god, pretty woman. She wasn't even that pretty. She's a 7, 8. She was an 8. This tiefling girl. yellow skin, yellow hair, yellow eyes, yellow.
Yellow by Coldplay.
Yeah.
Ah,
And it was all
Yellow.
yellow. Look at the stars.
Alarith, what did I tell you about singing? Now above Lyle, who is angrily playing his love song,
angry love.
All I kind of want to do is I kind of want to steal that and just kind of want Callie to just steal the girl.
Do
That's
it.
great.
We're gonna find. That's our new mission. We're gonna find this girl, and Callie is gonna schmooze her.
so above Lyle, who
Mushrooms.
is angrily playing Tainted Love, you see this.
Sometimes I feel I've got to twang, twang,
Bum,
run
bum.
away.
It's not a good harp song.
It's not. You guys see a pretty-looking wood elf. He has like shaggy hair, kind of like autumn colored. He's leaned over on a desk and he's scrawling on a bunch of notes. But after a moment, he kind of stops and he looks over and he sees you and he takes out the earplugs that have been in his ears the entire time. And he comes almost flying down the stairs, one of his stupid long legs, almost jumping over the steps, and he rushes up to you guys and he goes, "Oh, Alarith, you're okay." And he kind of looks over at the rest of you and he goes, "And you have also had friends. That's great. That's good." Oh gosh. He's for the rest of you, he is a very, very tall boy with narrow shoulders, slender legs. He's like a noodle of a man. And he's slightly taller than Muse, not as tall as Callie is. But you all kind of know that, see that his face has lit up at the sight of our little kobold.
Oh.
Why is everyone so surprised that she has friends?
Bro, have you met me?
I did just meet you.
You did indeed, and I appreciate you taking the time to be my friend.
Yeah, like what, 36 hours ago?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, we got stuck at the last wish last night. I'm sorry to have worried everyone.
Lyle from his lovely post goes, "I wasn't worried."
Lyle.
That's me.
Kiefer
Fuck.
is from kind of like bounces on his heels, and he kind of, as he does, his hair kind of flops up and down because it's so puffy and curly. He is just delighted to see you. Well, everything was kind of bad last night. Hold on. He kind of like shakes his hands out to like reorganize himself. We had a bunch of bird creatures attack us. I couldn't identify what kind they were, but they sucked. And Garrick got really hurt, and we ran out of spells, and not great. It wasn't great. It wasn't fun. And Lyle turned invisible. I turned invisible to keep you all safe. Thank you very much.
We fought a bunch of mosquito things.
Oh, that's probably better than what we had. We had like
It sounds like it.
yeah, we had we had fuck. We had these
You had fuck?
We had
No.
fuck.
we we had like these weird they weren't like I can't even describe it. They were like eagles, but not really. Just a lot bigger and just more mean, more vicious. They picked up Cathra. It was not fun. Cathra kind of like folds her arms and he goes, "I stabbed it."
Oh, that sounds awful.
That
Ugh.
sounds cool.
No, Sindri.
No, Sindri, no.
Oh, wait, you mean the stabbing is the cool part?
Yeah.
I mean, I stabbed it and then I fell and then I landed on the roof and yeah, that's fun.
Well, at least it was the roof.
At least it was the roof. I appreciate your positivity.
I appreciate your wonderful hair.
Thank you. As you guys are kind of like talking to each other, Lyle is just like strumming his heart out to X's and O's, and it's just
The X's and the O's, they twang.
Me.
Kiefer kind of like bounces a little. Oh, I should probably spell his name. Sorry.
We can
Me
see his
just-
name tag under the
Oh, thank Christ!
thing,
I was like,
so you're good.
I was so worried I was going to have another PJO moment where I was like, "Hey, we don't know who any of these people are. They're not identified."
I cast Identify on Kiefer to learn the spelling of his name.
So
That would be a really bad waste of that spell.
So he kind of like bounces on his heels a little, and he goes, "So where have you been? When you didn't come back, and you know, like you worry about like classmates and good friends. So where he kind of like wrings his hands a little, like fidgeting, like so where were you?"
We got today we got asked to do a mission by some of the salt mine people, and I got sidetracked doing that.
Cathra kind of like narrows her eyes a bit, like, "What does Chuck want with you? What did you do?"
No. It was a Mr. Stark.
Mister, she kind of like looks up at the ceiling for a bit, like remembering, and she goes, "Oh God, Jeremy, what did he want?"
That there was iron in the salt mines, and then he wanted, and like it went missing, and he wanted to know what happened, if it had been stolen, and Sindri said we would investigate, and we did, and then there were these bug monster things, that were eating the iron.
Show him your dagger.
Kind of like brushes her hair back out of her face, and it's like, "That's weird. We shouldn't have iron near near the mines at all. I mean, salt corrodes iron." And she kind of like looks at all of you, and who are kind of like silent. She goes, "I work in the mines. Okay, I know these things."
Cool.
Well, Kiefer kind of like fidgets a little more, and he goes, "Well, at least you're okay. So, like, job well done, yeah."
Yeah, we did it. I don't know if we got all of them, but we at least found out what was happening.
Garrick kind of leans over you, since he's so tall, with one arm on the wall, like a cool anime boy. And he's just like, "So all you got in the mines? Just some bugs? Would have thought something like cooler, like a basilisk or something." Basilisks aren't cool.
I'm fine.
PTSD. The PTSD.
Oh, and it was in the prime position to like bottleneck it too, and everything.
It
Oh,
really was.
Yeah.
We found a was it a temple as well further in?
In the mines?
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool.
Kiefer lights up and he's like, "Where? Where was it? How big was it? How did the fuck? Were there any treasures? Anything like cool, or historical in it? What was in there? What was in it?"
There was a dead body, and then there was another dead body, and then there
Starting off
was
strong, Aelirith. I like it.
and then there were historical papers and letters.
Give.
Alarith will pull them out of her bag and hand them to him.
He
He just
gently takes
step
them.
away from the papers.
So Kiefer accepts my papers. Kiefer's a good boy.
A
You
good
can take some
friend.
fucking notes.
He very gently
Wait, no, he
takes them
can't,
from
he can't read
you,
English.
and he shuffles through them. And he's like, "Oh, these are so old. Oh goodness. Ah, they're all in common. Yes. He's clearly devolved into his own little world again. But Kafra kind of glances over at you and he goes, "So, how was there a shrine in the mines that we don't know about?"
It was over 300 years old.
Oh, wow.
And it looked like it had been caved in on purpose.
On purpose?
Yep, there were supports that were knocked down, and that definitely wasn't an accident.
Oh, jeez. I guess. What are they gonna do with the area? I guess. I would hope that they.
Chuck said he would send people to investigate. Potentially, they might ask Nana Greenwood about it. I should tell her that now. Excuse me. I was just going to quickly talk because she forgot to ask. Aha, be by yourselves and talk to them.
No, we're gonna follow you, bitch.
No.
You're our friend. Friendship
Hello.
comes at a price.
Shit. Alarith will quickly
So-
pop back into Nana Greenwood.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry. I forgot to mention before, when we were in the mines, there was a old temple we found, and they're going to probably investigate at some point, and they may ask for help from the magic school. And I said I would pass on the message that they may request help down the line.
I got nothing better to do. I'm closing the school down for 4 days. 4 days.
Oh, down for summer.
I'm closing it down
Great.
to pay respect for the dead and have them get all their affairs in order.
Well, now I feel bad for singing.
So I'll be sure to get right on that.
Thank you. Sorry. Go back up there.
There's nothing to be sorry for. Alarith.
Yes.
Try to take some time off. Relax a little. And don't get into trouble again.
Oops.
Yes. Okay. I'll do my best.
Meanwhile, with the rest of the Scooby Gang, you guys kind of see that Kiefer apparently is the historian because he's been babbling nonsense about, oh, this is a certain dialect, this is a certain, colloquial phrase from back then, this is this and this is that. And he gets to one page by the time you get back, Alarith, and he goes, "What the heck is this thing?" And he kind of shows you, and it's the mysterious creature that you guys saw from before.
That was one of the dead bodies.
Catherine kind of has to stand on her toes to look at it, but she's still short, so she kind of manually takes Kiefer's arm and lowers it so it's now at her level. She goes, "The hell is that? Looks like a frog." Well, it looks more like a snake and a frog, like a snake, frog, hydra, dragon thing. He kind of like looks it over. I don't recognize it. I don't. Well, maybe Dash does when he gets back. Since he does that for a living. Maybe. He kind of like looks around through some of the notes and he goes,
Dash
These
was
are
the one
maps.
who we saw at the last wishes, the 3 wishes as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He did. He was the pale-looking guy.
Alarith will pipe up at the mention of him. He was okay, by the way. We saw him leave this morning.
Oh, then he should be on his way back to their little keep thing. So he'll probably be back soon, right? Maybe a day or two. Depends on what he's feeling. What is this funky beat?
This is
I
from
don't
Final
know.
Fantasy 14. I have no idea. This is not one I recommended to you.
What the fuck
Why
is
are there
this?
drums playing?
This is the twinning, and this song fucking slaps. I have no idea where it's come from.
I love that you know that.
So while Lyle is rocking in the background,
It says it's supposed to be Serenity playing, but this is not Serenity.
That's the twinning from the Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers soundtrack.
I mean, to be fair, for whatever fucking reason, if you scroll up in the bot channel, it hasn't been playing a lot of songs for whatever reason. Which, I don't know why. So at the break, I'm pulling in a different bot, and Chip's getting the fucking boot.
Bot scuff.
But bot's very scuffed,
Rip
because
Chip.
it's saying that it can't find the source, even though it's through Spotify, so I don't know if that means just, like, the bot's located in, like, Venezuela or some shit and it can't connect to US, like North American servers or something, but like, yeah, it's scuffed as fuck. So it's getting the boot at break, and I'll skip this for now because I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, like I don't. Yeah, no.
So a party
Oh
of
my
bugs
god,
has
can
showed
two
up
more
with, like,
people
a drum
skip?
set.
I need 2 other people to hit skip in the bot channel.
I'm
Because
coming.
it's one of these fucking. Oh!
Goodbye, the twinning. I love you. Okay, there we go. This is the actual song it's supposed to be.
Okay.
I'm going to
So-
scream. I miss Spotify. Or YouTube.
Anyways, after Lyle did that amazing
Drum
That
solo.
amazing drum solo out of rage. I forgot where I was. Shit.
Sorry.
The weird creature
We're talking
with
about
the
Lyle.
sketch of.
I think we were talking about the creature,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
and then we talked about Dash.
Yeah, Dash is probably gonna know what that thing is. I mean, he knows all about, like, hydras and whatnot, right? I mean, he does that for a living. And Kiefer kind of, like, continues to go through some of the documents and ends up staring at a few and goes, Oh, these are maps. These are maps. And he kind of, like, scoots around Kafra and runs up the stairs to his little study area. And he kind of, like, sets. You hear him, like, setting things down and, like, moving them around. He's just, like, he is apparently very, very intrigued. Tethra, on the other hand, is like, I'm gonna be heading out. I have to go check up with the other girls and also check my family. So, I'll be seeing you, Alara. Be safe. She kind of like very gently gives you a little hug and like backs off.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, don't let the boys bully you. I will find out. And if Lyle just does anything, just tell him and he will never have a woman. Okay? Bye-bye. And she goes through a dimension door and disappears.
You do that so much.
I know. After a minute, you hear Kiefer going, "You should look at this. Oh, you should look at this."
Okay. Lareth will scurry on up the stairs.
Yeah, scary like little lizard. She climbs up the wall.
Scurry.
He's just gonna
Sniff.
quietly
Flinch.
like trail behind and kind of just stand on the stairs and watch.
He kind of like, so he has apparently gotten all of the maps that were within the stack of papers out, and he's kind of set them all across this big wide map of the continent itself. And he has placed these maps in certain spots on the map, and he goes, check it out. It's literally places from, it's literally landscapes from the different countries. This literally is mapping out where these people went. Look. And he kind of like, he points at one and he lifts it up to show you that underneath is Southern Yone. And he puts it back down and he goes, that's the entire southern coast. They were here. They were literally here at the entire southern coast. And that right there. And he kind of like lifts up another one. And it shows that it's a map of the sort of the mid-range of the country of Kina. And he goes, they literally went there and here and here. They're literally going everywhere, and it's so cool.
That's a lot of traveling.
Well, yeah, but fuck. They say that that these guys they literally went from country to country to get allies to like go into Yone and defeat the Mad King. This is so cool. But I mean, for one, they said that they had like some sort of flying device. Like,
Wait,
Oh.
a flying device?
yeah, look. And he kind of like puts down one of the pieces of paper, and from what you see, it looks to be a correspondence between two people. Well, one person with the same addressing to Hilda, who was the corpse you found down there. And from what you kind of get the gist of, it sounds as if the gang of Holy Champions is moving over the mountains, and it literally says, word for word,
Is the Gang of Champions their official name?
no. I wish.
We wait in anticipation.
Sorry.
It says D's nuts.
Just some ancient shit post.
That would be pretty great.
Ligma.
Just an ancient rickroll.
Oh my god, could you imagine?
I did a tweet the other day that was like, Rick Astley will die and no one will click on the headline.
Oh no.
But yeah, it appears that they're going to be flying over the ridge that's within Kina, which is mostly mountainous, all the way down to Althea, which is a continent that's just way over another continent to get to there. So that's a long way to go if you're going on foot. And it appears to say that they're literally going to fly there. So that flying apparatus thing seems to hold some weight. Whew. This is so cool. And Kiefer kind of like looks at the different pages and he goes, "The only one that I'm struggling with is this one where he points out where it says that the Holy Hand is moving south towards Mud Lake. I don't know where Mud Lake is. I don't know what that is. It could be.
There would be a lot of muddy lakes in the world, right?
Well, yeah, of course. There's swamps everywhere, but it could be a mistranslation or maybe a colloquial term or
What
maybe
about an iron tree?
What? He kind of like scruffles through all the papers very gently, and he manages to get on to the last letter from Hilda, and he kind of pauses and looks at it and kind of stares at it for a moment. Oh, this was I'm assuming this is from the person you found down there, huh? Yikes.
Alerthal nod.
Okay, iron tree. Well, it's not very identifying. There's no town called the Iron Tree. There's no monument I can think of. As far as like the Mud Lake, Althea has a lot of swamps in their northern region right here, and he kind of like circles with his finger on the place where Althea and Yon connect, and he kind of like frowns and like squints, and he goes, I don't know any iron tree, or maybe I would need a little more context, I think. Buried with the iron tree, the medallion. What medallion? Did you?
Oh,
gosh.
Sindri had it, right?
Which one is Sindri?
Bird.
Meanwhile, with Sindri, I'm looking at you there, Sindri.
Yeah, Sindri, I'm looking at you too.
Hi.
Are you staring at this angry halfling?
Yeah, I'm listening to him really terribly play music.
Yeah.
And very heavily judging his composer choice.
Yeah, so he has started to move on from that to trying to like play something a little more calming, as if he's like finally got his anger out. And once he kind of like settles and like starts to like get into it, he is a little better. The only problem that you can discern is that the harp is so big that he can only play so many notes because of how far his arms stretch.
Buddy.
He's a little handheld one.
But he is trying his darndest. Like, it is literally like squishing him against the wall, but he is trying.
What's
You
he
want
playing,
to do anything,
Marka?
Sindri? What?
What's he playing?
Sad Naruto music.
No.
Sure. Sure.
Do 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 do.
Imagine knowing the Naruto soundtrack.
Oh, don't
Couldn't be
don't
me.
expose me like that.
Don't be rude.
Thank you.
I'm not doing anything in
Continue.
particular. I'm just enjoying them. Well, I'm trying to enjoy the music.
From next to him, you also see that he has a lute and what looks to be a violin case, but he's not touching any of those. Perhaps he's learning the new instrument. Who knows?
Sinju's just gonna sit on the floor, legs crossed, and just like, music.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say sit on the floor like a chicken. He's gonna nest.
No.
Oh,
There are human
Let them
parts
live.
of me.
Let Sindri
let them
nest.
roost.
No.
Rude.
Yeah, that's about it. That's all I'm doing.
So, Muse and Alarith and Callie, you all notice that Sindri is enraptured by Lyle, who is just trying to focus so hard on playing this harp and just trying to get his hands to the other strings.
They're just like swaying to the music a little bit.
Yeah. Sindri is bobbing up and down like it's a pixel animation.
Yeah.
Aw.
So the bird has a medallion or something.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
go get it. Oh, I've opened the token settings. Don't do that. Sindri, and he kind of taps Sindri on the shoulder.
Hi.
Do you want to come over with us or hand me the medallion?
Here you go. And they just hand it over to you, not even looking.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. And he kind of pats the top of your head before turning around and going.
You get a little chirp.
Here you are. And he holds it out.
Kiefer kind of gives you a little looks you up and down a little bit, kind of like studying you for a second, and he very gently takes it from you, like very. How do I say this? It's the most gay thing you've ever seen in your damn life. Just that very gentle hand caress as he takes it from you. But he kind of stares at it for a little bit.
And when as he's looking at it, Mew says, "It should have a horse on it, not a snake, but besides the point." And he shuts up.
I looks at you for a second, and he squints, but he looks down at the medallion and kind of turns it over in his hands a few times, and he goes, "Yeah, you're right. It should have have a horse." He kind of he moves back a little, and he picks up a book from this little shelf here. He pulls it out, and he plops it down, and he kind of gestures for the three of you to come over and investigate. But he pulls it and he flips it open to a specific dog-eared page, and you cannot read it, Muse, because you can't read. But for
You did this to
Callie-
yourself.
Oh, I know. I
For
I fully did. Yes, I know.
For Callie and Alarith, they see the title that is, it's clearly a book about the country of Kina. And it says, The Women of White. And underneath it, it shows a medallion, a drawing of a medallion, and the pendant is a rearing horse. Not
The same
this. It looks
as
to be
the pendant.
it looks to be the same as the pendant, that shine, the nicks in it, and the chain. And it has a drawing of the chain extending what did I say last time? A tape dispenser. And Kiefer kind of like holds the chain to you, and he notices that it's broken, but he kind of like cuts at it, and he pulls on the chain, and it does get a lot longer, like incredibly long, like you're pulling a seatbelt long, and it retracts back, and he goes, "This is so." Hina has this I guess a guild of women who their whole job is to fight the abyss, and they're called the Women of White, and that they carry these with them everywhere. It's hard to identify them. It should be a horse though. Maybe it's a different sect or something like that. This was on the body? What was it on the body?
I assume so. I didn't pick it up.
Then maybe. Why would someone from there be here? Unless oh boy.
But it's a snake, not a horse.
It is a snake, not a horse, and that's very frustrating right now. Kind of like flips through some of the pages, and he goes, they Kina likes Ninir as their main god, more so than Yadona, which is for Yon. But gosh, maybe this is for a different sect or different region of Kina. I don't know, but it has the same qualities as this one in the book. Why would it be here though? I mean, he kind of like steps away and then walks back to the map. And he's kind of looking it over, and he's looking at this section of Kina that has been mapped out in the present and in the past, and he's looking from both places to both places, and he's not finding anything, and he's getting a little bit frustrated, but he's clearly trying to help you. And as he does, Alarith, you can see he's fiddling with like the chain and how it's broken, but you see him kind of like rolling it in his hands a bit, and he's kind of mumbling to himself. And you see the faint light kind of like sparking between his hands. And as he kind of like sets the chain down, it is fully mended itself. It's all fixed. But he's kind of now pouring himself into this map, and he's trying to figure out exactly how things are right now. Yes.
Would I know? Would I know if this is a time to sort of? Yes, he did. Would I know if this is sort of a time to leave him be because he's just going to be off in his own little world?
Yeah, I mean, you like him. He's nice. He's kind of sweet to you, but he likes to do this thing where he gets hyper fixated on something, and he cannot stop being fixated on that thing until he's solved the riddle. So, yeah, this is a point for him to just not interact with anyone else.
Alarith will give him just like a gentle pat on the leg.
And gently tap his thigh.
Yeah.
Pat.
And she'll just say, we'll leave you to it. Good luck.
Oh, thank you. You have made my entire week. Oh gosh. I will make sure that I tell you anything I find. I will let you know. I will let you know. And he's just like,
thank you.
He kind of like pushes his hair out of his face, and he's just like, oh, I'm gonna get into this now. And Garrick is still leaned up against the wall, and he's just like, so now what? What are you and your little friend's gonna do now?
What are we gonna do?
I don't know. School is closed for 4 days.
I
guess
know.
can't-
What will
I
you
guess I
do with
can't-
yourself?
I can't.
Spring
I guess
break?
I can't study.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
this
I
is a
wish we
good
got
time
a
for you to.
4-day break.
Maybe this is a good time for you to have some fun. I don't know. Go do something. What do you want to do? Anything.
I think you'll get mad if I say go read a book.
You make it very hard to get mad at Ellerith. Could never get mad at you. But I think maybe go outside, touch some grass in the most nice way possible. I don't know. Maybe go berry picking. That's cute. That's a thing people do.
Oh, I guess it would be. I don't think I've had a lot of berries.
I don't know. Some of your friends look like they're new here. He kind of like looks from Callie and then looks at Sindri and goes, "Maybe you can show them around, or I don't know." That's how you bond with people.
Oh. What time of day is it at this point?
It is not high noon. It is, I would say, getting up to be 11 in the morning.
That's it?
Damn.
You guys woke up at like 5.
Yeah, we got
Yeah, we woke up at
Ew.
like the crack of
Rancid.
dawn.
the ass crack of dawn.
I mean, if there's time later, you could even go bar hopping. You know, have some real fun.
The abyss kind of opened up.
I know that's not really your style. Maybe you could take them to a library or something. You know, you got your special interest.
Alarith will turn back to Callie and muse. Is there anything you want to do or see?
Well, I mean, I did come here to. He kind of looks at the ground, look at the churches.
Oh, yeah, I can take you to the churches. That's not a problem.
He perks up
Eric
with that.
kind of looks up
Oh,
at
good.
you and just kinda
Reading signs is impossible.
like... Oh, buddy. Garrett kind of looks you up and down and is like, "A holy tiefling. That is funny."
Why is everyone fucking perving on muse here?
He cute.
Come on, who doesn't like the twink? Come on.
Muse goes up to Lyle. "Hey, so."
I'm
I mean, I was. And before Kiefer took the papers, I was gonna go make him go sit over by Lyle to be like, "Hey, you play real good."
I took that bullet.
Muse wants to be main character so bad.
Please. Please. Take this burden from
Yeah.
me.
Moo has made their characters sit in a corner away from the action just to not be main character.
Coward, get back here and accept your fate.
No.
If you could change your fate,
Would be.
if you had the chance to change your fate, men the
You gotta
bones
be like-
torn by pride.
You gotta be like 40% like less intelligible.
If you had the chance to change your fate.
That's better.
There you go.
I'm glad this is recorded.
Anyways, Alarith will look at Callie. Do you want to see the churches as well?
Sure. I don't know what I'm doing here, so might as well do that.
Okay. Do you want to come, Garrett?
I would love to go with you, Alarith. Really, I would. I would adore that. But I have other stuff to attend to. Like, I gotta go talk to that girl that's in the E-house. She's one of the Black Knights. So, my chance to get into their guild. Like, totally.
Oh, good luck. I hope it works out for you.
Sorry, say that again.
I hope it works out for you.
I hope it will too. Like, look, I'm not the best with magic, but I got other skills. And if worse comes to worse, I just punch something.
Punching something is a great idea.
Thank you.
Looks at her tiny hands.
Garrett kind of like looks at you and he goes, also, you and me, we have breath weapons. We just bite things too. And Lyle from the other side of the room stops his playing and goes, that's
Aw.
why you lost teeth.
Well, at least he didn't say that's kinky like I thought he was going to.
You're right.
You
In the
know he's a
gutter.
bard, but get your heads out of the gutter.
Alarith will smile at Garrick and then walk over to Sindri and tap them on the shoulder.
Hi.
Tap, tap.
Hi.
Sindri.
Hello.
Moo.
Andrew? Moo? Moo?
Moo.
Moo?
I'm
Moo?
Moo? Moo?
Moo? More panicked. Moo!
Can you hear
Moo?
me?
Moo? It's the second monitor.
Okay, everyone stop talking. Moo talk.
We're just really move, move, move.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what the fuck that was.
That was your punishment for not being the main character.
Anyway, thank God. I'll take that. The first time you tap them on the shoulder, they go, "Hi."
Muse wanted to go see the temples. Did you want to come, or did you want to listen to Lyle more?
He's all right. Let's go.
He's on.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Garrett kind of steps down and he kind of like leans over and he goes, Lyle, I'm gonna go talk to the yellow tiefling. You want to come? And Lyle immediately he almost throws the harp to get up. And he scrambles up and he goes, yes, absolutely. Where is she? Where is she? Where are we going? Where are we going? Where? And he kind of like scurries between Garrick's legs and just like immediately dashes out the door. And Garrick goes, wait, Lyle, I didn't give you directions. Lyle?
Hallie's gonna whisper under breath. Maybe that girl isn't into him.
Maybe they're into me.
Maybe I'm steal your girl.
I miss Steal Your Girl. Well, Alarith, there are 7 churches in Yon. The first one,
Sorry.
though...
Sorry, really quick.
And-
Wait, sorry, just really quick. Muse is gonna set his hand on Kiefer's shoulder. Good
Yeah.
luck. And then he's gonna.
Oh.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So there are 7 churches in Yon. You know that, what did I have in my notes? I'm so sorry. Okay. There are 7 churches in Yon, and only 4 of them are for specific gods. The rest are for general churches where you can basically come and worship who your deity is as you please. The 4 specific gods that are worshipped are Etris, Voon, Revmir, of course, the city is named after him, and Ion, whose church is currently following. Well, it's the newest one that's here. The oldest one is for Revmir, and well, I guess now it's for Hetia since you found that shrine. But the one that's closest is Etris, the god of magic and festivals and weed and drinking.
Very
And
specific.
This
Yeah.
is a good god.
Why didn't I pick her?
You have to
Yeah,
smoke
fuck
weed
my
to get
god.
visions.
why did I pick the cool god? I got the dead one.
I think she's still pretty cool,
Yeah.
even though she's
So-
dead.
You don't smoke pot. Like, what's the point?
So the temple of Etris is literally across the street from where you guys are right now. So I think that would probably be the best place to start.
Yeah, sounds fair.
Plus, from what you remember, Alarith, from your early days of settling here, they give free food, shelter, and free liquor. So, good times.
Drink, clink, clink, motherfuckers. It's time to drink, motherfuckers.
Let's go there.
All right. So, you guys all,
They do a jig before they leave.
they're caught in a
Dance all
small
day, I can dance
tornado,
all day.
It's fine.
Dance all night.
You guys go outside and you manage to catch the tail end of Garrick running after Lyle as they enter into what is colloquially called the E-House. Etris's temple. It's not really a temple. It's shush, I'm working on it. It is stop that. It is a kind of a log cabin looking place. It's made of elm and it's got a teepee-like roof. It's very, as neutral likes to say, dirt shack vibes. It's not very fancy at all. It's
rustic.
which is kind of in the theme of Etris. They're not a lavish god. They're very down to earth and modest, I guess, in terms of the other gods. So I'm going to move you guys there. And as you enter, you guys see that there's a couple people gathered and they're celebrating and, well, not really celebrating. They're chatting merrily and they're like cooking a small piglet over the fire. And standing on a wide table is allegedly the yellow tiefling in question. She looks to be about the same height as Muse. Her horns are slightly taller than him, but puffy, curly ringlets of hair, yellow eyes, yellow goldenish skin. She's wearing makeup. She is dressed in a pretty white blouse and pants with little suspenders. She has a long tail that ends in a tuft of fur, kind of like a little unicorn tail. And she is apparently speaking excitedly with the others, and you only kind of get the tail end of the story, where she is, speaking with a very heavy infernal accent, ends up saying something to the akin of, and so I told him he needs to calm down, and we need to make sure that everything is okay. But he goes, no, it's never okay. And he walks out the door, and what happens? There's a dragon standing right there looking at him. And what happens then? Jump! And she kind of like makes a big clapping motion with her hands like a little kid playing with an alligator. And the crowd kind of like laughs it off a little. And she goes, I have never seen an accountant get eaten that fast. It was like one gulp. It was hilarious. I mean, I told him not to do that. But who knows? And Garrick kind of walks in. Lyle stands there for a moment, just staring at her. And I mean, she is pretty. Not exactly an 8, though. I would put it maybe higher up. Maybe a 9. Like, she's still pretty. But that is what you guys see as you guys first enter. And Muse, this building is only like one story. It's just a base cabin. You don't even see there's no medical quarters. There's no confession booth. There's nothing really. In the back of the temple, you do see a shrine, a pretty looking brass statue that has little offerings with it. Looks to be like someone made a little flower crown and put it on top of the statue's head. So you have now entered the domain of Etrus. What do you want to do?
Alarith will turn to them and say,
I don't come here very often, so I don't know what to do.
Lareth doesn't go to church.
not to this church.
Don't take me to church.
Out of
Take her
character,
to
I honestly
church.
didn't think I didn't think I'd get this far. So give me I didn't think I'd get this
I
far.
don't know. I didn't think I would get this far.
Would you like to take a break?
We can take a small break until you guys can collect yourselves.
Oh yeah, because I need to go over things I've sent to Larka real quick. So yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. No problem.
So, you are all at the commonly known as the E-House, or the Temple of Etris, with these lovely people, and apparently a Black Knight of Revmir. Well, not Revmir, Revmore, sorry. Who are one of the monster hunters, like Maeve was and Dash is. And, yep, that is the same woman who saved your classmates, Aelarith, and apparently has stolen Lyle's heart. You also see, like, children, you see a bunch of different races, some halflings, some humans, some half-elves, an orc over in the corner. There are a bunch of tables that have clearly been moved around a bit. It looks like they shift the layout of this place for whatever reasons they need. The only thing that seems to be consistent are the 3, like, braziers that are, or braziers that are spewing fire, and what?
Braziers is like a bra.
And-
Were you thinking of brazzers?
Yes, sorry.
No. Don't. No. Brazzers is not something you should be thinking about.
Okay.
Braziers.
What?
It's braziers. Just moving on.
All right. I don't know how to pronounce things.
It's okay.
And the only thing that is also consistent is the shrine in the back with the statue. Other than that, the floor is like dirt and sand, like soft dirt and soft sand. Like, this is a very niche thing, but if you've ever been like in a horse stable and you see like how soft the dirt is around there for the horses, yeah, it's like that here, where you can clearly see that things have been moved and people have been walking around, and like it's not hard dirt; it's like kind of squishy, softish dirt.
Your experiences are not universal. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, only Moo is a fellow horse girl.
Yep. So true.
So, would you like to go in?
Yeah.
There's the sweet smelling of a pig who is apparently being roasted over the fire with a very fragrant herbal rub over it. So, that's free food
Ooh.
used.
Free food!
Aelarith, you see Garrick kind of just like gently scoot around these people and take a seat at one of the benches. But Lyle continues to stand where he was and just keeps staring at this poor tiefling girl who is trying to tell her funny story.
Allie's gonna just sit and be very interested.
So,
What?
Get
nothing.
in there. Get in there.
We support it.
I'm just gonna listen to the lovely tiefling lady.
Where are you
Yeah.
going to sit?
Where am I gonna sit? Where is she?
At the bottom.
Muse, Sindri, what are you guys gonna do over there? I've heard you
Oh,
see you looking at the.
Damaris? I think that's her name.
You don't know what her name is yet.
Oh.
True.
Shit.
But for the sake of it, I will tell you that her name is pronounced Damaya. Like damn Aya.
Damn, Aya.
Maya.
Damn.
Damn.
Damn, boy.
Infernal.
I'm just following Muse.
Muse, what are you
Uh,
doing? Since Sindri is clearly not being the main character.
I refuse.
He's just gonna kind of just give the statue kind of once over and then sit down cross-legged and kind of just stare for a few minutes, just looking.
Well, the statue in front of you is clearly made of brass. It depicts a faceless figure with a kind of like a woolen-looking cloak over their shoulders, and it's kind of like a Greek statue where it's like nude. And from what you see, Muse, it not only contains like a pair of breasts, but it also contains male genitalia. So it's like what's the term? Like a statue of hermaphrodite.
Okay.
Intersex.
Aphrodite.
Yeah, hermaphrodite. Yes, thank you. And in front of it,
I was just sitting here like, oh, a trans woman, Pog.
well, it could be. It depends on your interpretation. But in front of it, you see there are little offerings. There's cute candles. There's incense burning. There's pieces of bread. There's pieces of pork. There's flowers. There's wine. There's what looks to be like some sort of oil in a green jug. And some people have even put little pieces of gold like sitting there on a I guess an offering platter. The statue isn't great looking. It's clearly made of like some sort of like cast or something like that, but it's clearly well loved because like it's shiny in certain spots and where people have clearly been touching it, and it's got the little flower crown in its head, and just it looks nice.
Enjoy.
I'm talking like the hands or like the elbows move, for fuck's sake.
No looting in my hotel lobby.
No lewdness in my holy shrine.
This is the party shrine, though.
Yeah, man.
That's true.
The E-house!
God damn it.
You made this the party shrine. You did this to yourself.
I did.
The resignation in her voice.
Yeah, Muse is just gonna sit here and look for a little bit. Just take it in. Respectfully.
Yeah. So, Callie, you're just staring at this pretty woman.
Yes, and listening to her. Respectfully.
Yeah. So, from what you're kind of picking up on the context is that she's talking about like a job that she had, or like something of that nature, where she was protecting like someone or some sort of bank. She goes on to say, so we had to like scramble, like super scramble, and like everyone is just like screaming and crying, and like all the tellers are like, oh, you're going to die, it's going to be the worst thing ever. But we totally like saved the day. So we go up to the dragon, and I go up there and I say to it in Draconic, and I'm like, listen, this is where we keep all the gold. You cannot have it. It is not yours. And this poor dragon is just like, but I want it. It is mine. I like dragons. And so I know dragon going to do what dragon going to do. So what do you do when the dragon wants all your gold? Well, we got a little chest, and we were like, oh, so this is where you want all the gold, right? And we take it to them, and we were like, this is exactly what you want, and this is exactly what you're ever going to get. And like everyone is kind of just like trying to figure out through her accent what exactly she's trying to say, but they're being respectful about it.
Callie can understand perfectly.
Yeah. Callie's just like, I know exactly what you're trying to say. Queen, go off. But, she goes, and so we take this little chest and we manage to lure the dragon all the way to this, like, big lake, right? This very, very big lake. And we're like, if you want this gold, go get it. And we threw it in the lake and it sunk to the bottom and the dragon was like, oh no, I want that. And it jumps into the lake and then it just never comes back out. And that is how I drowned a young dragon. That was fun. And everyone just kind of goes, oh, and just kind of like awkwardly collapse.
Damn.
I adore her already.
Callie, you have to win.
Yeah, no, she's ours now.
First beans. Now Demea.
Next, the world.
Lyle is clapping and hooting at her, like, woo, yeah, girl. Like,
Have you had any other
And then-
adventures? Callie is going to ask.
she whips around to look at the people who just walked in. She sees Lyle and she kind of like gives him a soft smile and she looks at you and she kind of looks you up and down a bit and she goes, oh, well, maybe not as interesting as what the third book adventure goes on, huh? She kind of
I mean, I get up to some interesting things. We saved a mine yesterday.
oh, really? And she kind of like sits down so that she's like crisscross on the table. She goes, you're more than welcome to stand up here and talk about it, but I don't think you need to. You're tall enough as is.
Oh no, I don't like being the center of attention.
You've made this
This
bed,
is what
you gotta
happens when
lie
you
in
flirt.
it now.
This is
Oh, no,
flirting
lesbians,
because I
we're in it
can't
now.
flirt.
Now we try.
You do it, Callie. I believe in you.
Roll
You gotta flirt
performance.
with the DM.
Just
I
talk
just wanted
her.
to not. I just didn't want Lyle to win.
Well, you
I
gotta
know.
win. Come on, girl. You can do it.
Callie,
Come on,
straight
bad
from
man. You
the
can do
history.
it.
So Callie's gonna tell the tale of what happened in the mine yesterday, and talk about how they discovered what her the like temple for her goddess.
You clearly get a lot of attention, mostly because you're talking about something that happened that was very recent, and people are like very interested in what you're saying. Lyle is not paying attention to you at all. He is focused entirely on the tiefling in front of you. But like everyone else, they seem pretty like interested, and they're oohing and awing, and
I'll point to my friends and like try and get them to help.
If you point over at Alara, she'll come over.
gotta help.
Gotta help tell the story. Because it wasn't just me.
Coming adversity with the power of friendship. We love to see it.
Yeah, everything's I find is better with friends.
I like the way you think. And as you do that, Lyle kind of like leans on the table and he goes, I'm wondering if you remember me from, last night. And she kind of looks over at him and she goes, yeah, I remember you from the magic school. And he goes, yeah, I just, he kind of brushes his hair back behind his ear. I was just wanting to thank you again for the help from last night. You completely saved us. You are amazing, and I'm very grateful. And she kind of like looks at him, and she kind of like she gives him that little head cock, and like that sweet smile that you give like a puppy that you see. And she's like, "Oh, thank you. It is my job. I do whatever is necessary to keep people safe." And Garrick kind of makes a loud coughing sound, and Lyle kind of looks over at him, and it's very clear that Garrick is like, "Please come over here. Please stop making yourself look like a fool in front of this poor woman." And so Lyle just kind of slinks away over to his T-Rex friend.
Cowie. One cow.
Yeah.
To lick his wound.
Muse and Sindri, are you guys having fun over there?
We're watching flirting in action.
They had a whole conversation in chat.
Yeah.
I know.
Sindri is literally playing with the dirt under their feet, like making little like patterns, just being like, "I'm just gonna stand by my friend. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but I'm here."
Muse, there's like, place is a pretty. It doesn't look like any temple you would think to see. Like, you would think like a big stone and like marble and all that, but this is like literally a dirt shack.
We went to a hippie's hut. God damn it.
Yeah, we did.
You did go into a hippie's hut, unfortunately. But you look up.
Maybe
You
Muse
can
finds
see-
God.
You looks up and sees God. But
Hey, God.
the entire time that you're like sitting here and you're kind of like looking around, there doesn't seem to be like any sort of like nothing special really stands out here. Nothing really catches your eye. There's no like specific masterpiece that's here. There's no like there's this place doesn't even have a basement. There's nothing really of interest here for you. Although as you're kind of sitting here and just kind of like chilling and vibing, your headache is pretty much like subsiding. It's not terrible anymore. It's still like a little bit of an ow, but like it's a lot less pressure in your head.
It's
than
manageable.
it was before. Yeah, it's manageable. And it's been getting better and better since you kind of sat down in here. So that's interesting. What was that?
Was I right? Does Muse find God?
Perhaps.
God is in the paracetamol.
Does Muse convert?
Muse was a paladin this whole time.
Muse is
Another
gonna
thing
look
Muse-
back at Sindri. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Muse is just gonna look back at Sindri, just pat the ground beside him.
Oh, friend.
Sindri will sit and take up
Yes.
playing with dirt with hands instead. They'll build a little castle.
Sindri will dig a little hole in the dirt and then sit in it. The dirt bliss.
Ah, yes. That's what they do. But like subtly, because
Yeah.
they're still trying to look like they're just sitting next to you, not doing anything.
Meanwhile, they're having a conversation about flirting.
They are.
Off and on, you know. It's a long
Off and
story
on,
we
they're
got to
talking
tell.
about the possibility of flirting.
Flirting.
Oh. you good, Newt?
Newts?
Newt.
I mean,
Newt.
it's fine.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, you guys have been talking to this lovely tiefling woman for a hot second, and she kind of like seems very like interested in what you're saying, and she's very like she seems to be one of those people who like is just openly friendly. So like you could talk to her about anything and she's going to be engaged with you and like making eye contact and just trying to be as friendly as possible. It's almost customer service-y, but she seems very like chipper and very bright and sunny. And just by the time you guys finish up your story, she kind of like gives you a little clap, a little applause, and the rest of the people around you kind of give you a little applause too, like for your storytelling ability. And she kind of like waves a hand and she kind of invites you to sit around and just hang out and to just chill. Well, she kind of like scoots back and looks back at the other people around her. Do you guys want to go take a seat, or do you want to keep standing behind her like for hype men?
She was up before.
Elarith has her spot.
Sally's gonna say to her, I never caught your name.
Well, I have so many names. I've used them all over the place, but for now you can call me Damaya.
Amaya? That's a lovely
Mhm.
name.
Thank you. And what do I call you?
Callie.
Callie. I like that. Why don't you take a seat, Callie? Why don't you get comfortable? You look like you've been walking for a while. No offense.
Yes. None taken. It was a long journey.
And for the record, welcome to Revmore. I know every
Thank you.
third here, and you are definitely new.
Oh, yes. No, I was called here by my goddess,
Oh, really? Which one?
Hetia.
Ooh. Ete doesn't usually give out little assignments. Someone's special today.
It seems so. My
Hmm.
entire family worships Hetia, though, so I'm not that original where I come from.
Everyone's original. Shouldn't say something like that. And from the crowd, you hear, Damaya, are you going to keep flirting with this poor person, or are you going to tell us your story again? And Damaya kind of like looks over at him, and she kind of gives him this motion that you're not familiar with, but you feel like is a very insulting like hand motion in Infernal. Muse, you of course have no idea what the hell it is.
Allie's just gonna say, oh, tell your story. I'd love to hear it.
Well, so obviously you all know that the last time that I was here, I said I was going to be going up north, and we were going to be doing some little bit of a headhunting. And turns out we were hunting something that was quite unsettling. And, like, you see from over yonder this away, not only is Lyle, like, just locked in and staring at her like a serial killer, but Garrick is also, like, pretty interested. And she ends up going, so, we were walking along the road and we ended up coming across a city that required our lovely assistance. And so we decided that to help in exchange for coin, of course. But turns out that some children were missing from this village, yes? And so we're like, oh goodness, this is like a kidnapping case, yes? But she kind of shakes her finger. All was not as it seemed. It turns out that 2 children had gone missing in a village that was not very big. there were only 3 children inside of it. So we had to act fast because we were sure that the 3rd child was going to get snatched away. And so you're probably thinking to yourself, Damaya, could do this. Is this just a simple kidnapping? No, it is not. So, we investigate. We search around where the children were sleeping peacefully in their beds and then were suddenly snatched in the night. And so I, being naturally the brightest of all of them, was like, it's very weird that the parents were home, but they did not see that their children were missing. And it was very spooky, like, we found some tracks, not that fun, but we also found a weird scar on the windowsill. It's like a claw nick. And so immediately we're like, oh, this is something supernatural, yes. So we decide to creep around, and we only have 8 hours to figure this out. So we decide to investigate, and oh boy, she's kind of like trying to remember everything that's happened, and she goes, long story short, and everyone's like, oh god, don't do this. Long story short, so I take my friend Kov, and we go into the woods, because we're following some tracks, and we find a big stump, where it's like chopped down, yes? And on that stump, just blood everywhere. And the mood quickly changes. And everyone just kind of like looks very uncomfortable, but Damaya keeps going, and she goes, we found evidence that the 2 children that were taken were eaten. And so we're like, oh, this is very bad. So we decide to go back. What was that?
Especially if the kids, like, they're eating kids, because there's a third one.
So we decide to go back. And we're like, well, we have to guard this last child, yes? And so we're sitting there. It's night. Everything is night, yes? Dark. We're there with the sheriff. It's me, the sheriff, Kov, and another person I work with whose name I don't remember because I don't really care for him. It's just gnomish guy. I don't really... Annoying. So we're sitting there in the dark and we're waiting, yes? Where the 3rd child is. Now, the 3rd child is sleeping in the bed. They're like 4 months old, yes? Like a baby, yes? And so we're like, this one is going to live, yes. And around midnight, clouds covering over everything, we see the window starts to fog up, yes? But it wasn't that hot outside for it to fog up. In fact, it was very cold. And so, of course, I go to step outside to see, what is fogging up the window. I see this big thing of gas just like sitting there, this big cloud of gas. And so we're like, oh goodness, what is this thing? Is it some sort of air elemental or something like that? And no, it is not. It slides in through the glass of the window, through the cracks, literally into the room, and it pops and it tries to smother the baby. And we immediately go into attack mode. The annoying friend that I have just casts a big wall of gust and it blows it back. And it hits the wall, and because it's pinned there, its form shifts. And we are looking at a big, giant blue creature with big, long teeth. It is definitely a fiendish creature. Not that I've ever seen, but it is definitely evil. And we decide, yep, let us kill it. And so, we decide, all 4 of us, to attack at once. Well, almost all four of us, I told the sheriff to get the child and get out of there, because why not, right? And we attack it, and we attack it, and it regenerates. We hack off an arm, the arm is able to stick back on and heal. How creepy is that? What we eventually did was we whittled it down so much, separated its body parts, keeping them in separate places so that it could not get itself back together. And at last, I took its head. And she kind of pulls out from her pocket. It's this very big, almost like the size of your hand. It's this very big, pale, chipped tooth. And she holds it up for the rest of them. And she goes, and I took this. And you guys have never seen a tooth that big before. It's way bigger than any orc. And it's bigger than maybe a troll. But it's not so big that it's a dragon tooth. You guys know what a dragon tooth is. It's just huge.
Wow.
But the minute that it comes into view, everyone is just like gasping and like just very engaged with the story, even though like it was kind of scary. It had a happy ending, so they're all kind of like clapping and just like I don't know, just giving her praise.
Allie is
And-
very intrigued by this lady.
Muse, Sindri, you guys okay over there?
Something about feathers?
Yeah.
Hey, you're all the way over
Muse-
there. You don't hear shit.
Yeah, no, too interested in the flirting.
Flirting. I don't know. Muse is the one who started shit.
Muse,
Well,
are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you?
No, he's not
What?
okay. He's doing text RP.
Listen, I thought it was legal. 2 birds, 1 stone. I don't know. I'll stop. I'm sorry.
My child is fine. Sir, your child is doing text RP.
That's fine with me. I don't care.
Actually, while we're here, Muse, Sindri, make
Oh.
perception rolls.
Oh.
Oh no.
First
Oh,
roll
no.
of the night, guys, and we're 2.5 hours
You know,
in.
my first roll was the nature roll to see about the mushrooms.
Fuck, I don't notice shit. I'm just in my own head again. See shit.
Why am I?
Do 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 do.
Why am I losing my mind? Okay, that one. Sorry, I got really confused.
Sometimes that just does play in my head, but not because I have no thoughts, but just because it's in my head.
Fair.
And it's a bop.
Muse, you don't really have anything going on between your ears except for that bad cover of X's and O's by Lyle's harp.
Yeah, that'll stay in anyone's brain for a while.
Yeah.
It's catchy.
You're just kind of like sitting there humming to yourself, X's and O's, they haunt me.
Literally.
Yeah. Sindri, you, however, you've been looking around and you're kind of like examining all the people here because, ooh, people, right?
Friends.
And from what you see here is that there's no like priest here. Like you've seen like clerics and you've seen like people who work for churches and like holiness and whatnot, and they usually have like some sort of like special like brand or like armor or like some sort of special clothes. You don't see any of that here. There's no like, you don't even know if there are people who work for this church or if it's more of like some sort of like party hall or something like that. It's a very strange church. And you've never really been to church, but if all the other churches look like this, you will be very disappointed.
Aww.
You want big, pretty room with big stained glass windows.
That would be pretty pog.
You would be pretty pog.
At least it's not the Christian church.
It's not.
So, like,
You know who else was hunted down by men? Jesus.
What?
hey, Wilbert Scott, big fan of your new boyfriend. So don't worry about it.
I'm confused.
Don't
I'm
worry
very
about
confused and scared.
I'm sure Neutral will provide you a link at some point.
Okay.
After a while of just like French storytelling in the background, Sindri will kind
It's
of like,
infernal. How dare you?
Sure.
The devil's tongue.
Is French? Yes. Sindri will nudge me. Actually, oh fuck, no. Metagaming. I don't know any of that shit. Never mind. Sindri's just happy
Yeah,
to
you
be
never
along
mind.
for the road.
God damn it! Why do I have a bunch of introverts in my game?
I'm not introverted.
Excuse me,
I just wasn't there.
Hey, did
I
you
know.
just not say
Callie
Callie
is
put the
pulling
moves
the
on?
team. Callie is pulling the team by pure lesbianism alone.
Allie's just flirting.
Is she though? Or are they though?
I mean, Callie thinks they're flirting.
oh, hun.
Okay. So
I don't know.
After-
I just didn't want Lyle to win, and Callie is attracted to ladies, so.
that's a
You're
mood.
doing God's work.
Somehow I
after-
feel like.
Yeah, after a hot bit, Demaya finally like kind of finishes up her little story. She obviously like holds out the tooth for people to inspect and like slips it back in her pocket. And she kind of gives a little curtsy and like gestures to someone to come up and like get things out of the way. And you guys see from the back this very thin looking woman, kind of like gaunt, high cheekbones, wearing makeup with very loose black hair and a headband. She kind of stands up and she makes her way over past the others, kind of taps
Callie.
Demaya on the arm.
Callie, another woman, quick, go.
She taps Demaya on the arm, and Demaya goes over and decides to sit down next to Alara's friends. But she kind of like looks over at everyone that's in this church and goes, "Well, that was a lovely story. Not really, because 2 children died, but I think that's what we've come to expect from Demaya's stories, huh?" She claps her hands together and she goes, "Well, I think that pig has been sitting there enough. Let's everyone eat, and remember to be courteous, and let us save some of this to give away." And she kind of gives a little bow, and this guy immediately goes up to start carving at this pig. And it looks like everyone's gonna have like a lunch or a brunch or I don't know, second breakfast.
See,
11sies.
11sies, thank you. God, all my breakfasts are 11sies. So this guy starts like carving up this little pig and starts like passing it around to people on little plates. And, like you all get a plate. Like he even like turns around and like goes and gives Muse and Sindri little plates. And it's like a herb like covered pork. It's kind of sweet, but it's not terrible.
Sounds pretty good.
Muse will inhale it as fast as he physically can.
Muse becomes the vacuum from Teletubbies.
Oh god, no, I take it back, He eats it slow, he
it's
eats it
too
slow.
Well,
late.
If you start wolfing it down, Sindra's gonna nudge you like pretty like decently hard in the ribs and be like, "Don't choke."
That's
I
not
will
helpful.
choke if you kick me in the ribs.
He's gonna stop mid-chew, just stare at you, before just continuing to do what he was doing.
You've actually caught the attention of this woman. And she kind of like goes over and she kneels a little next to you, like crouches down, and she goes, "There's no need to eat so fast. No one's going to take it from you." And she's kind of puts a gentle hand on your shoulder. There's plenty for you.
He startles and kind of jerks towards Sindri a little bit. Oh, okay.
I can see someone who's been through a bit of a hard time, but no one's going to take your food here. No one will take your bed, and you are free to come here anytime you need to.
Well, I'm not worried about anyone taking anything. I just don't get things often.
She kind of looks sad at that, and kind of gives a little nod of understanding. And she goes, "There's always food for you here. And we're always cooking something on the fire. So, if you're ever in trouble or you're ever hungry, feel free to come here."
He kind of gives a brief and almost embarrassed little nod.
She kind of stands back up and gives a little polite nod to you, Sindri, and goes back to sit down. Looks like maybe she's in charge here, even though like she doesn't really look like a priest.
After that, Sindri is going to...
My actions have consequences.
Sindri is going to completely, utterly, very much not subtly, like, slip one of their rations into Muse's bag.
Oh. Here's some beef jerky. Be good.
Like, not, they don't say
Health
a
roll,
word.
bitch. No.
They're not being stealthy, trust me.
What are you doing? Why are you?
Just thought you needed
Giving
it.
him some Slim Jim M&Ms.
Snickers bar.
I guess I will add a ration to my bag.
My first ration.
I have 11 rations now, thank you. Wait, I have 11 rations.
Muse, I have no food. Also, Muse.
This is all part of his plan. He pretends to be homeless.
That's alright. If he needs it, he can have it.
I didn't even, I just wrote down what was in my backpack. I didn't actually take into consideration what would be in my backpack when I picked it.
Rookie move.
I just copied and pasted what was in there.
What an amateur.
It's like when I forgot that Yuna has torches.
Right? You know what? One ration. There we go.
Yeah, that's more thematically accurate.
Muse dumps out
any
all
other
his potatoes and just puts in the one ration.
Do I have any other food in my bag? No, I'm good. What? No, I don't.
The potato famine of Yorn.
I mean, maybe. So, you all kind of like sit here in this little church and you all feel like pretty chill, like especially after the day you've had so far. But it's a good pit stop, it's a good place to get lunch, and good resting area. But as you're trying to like just relax and vibe, in the back of your head, Callie. Well, not really in the back of your head. You actually hear outside. You hear crows. Little crows, like, cawing at each other. and you look outside of where the door is, and you do see that sitting on the little ledge above, like, where the door is, are two little crows, like baby crows. When they open their mouths to screech at you, their inside of the mouth is pink.
Aw.
They're very little. They're very, like,
Fluffy.
they're fluffy. They're inspecting you. They're kind of like looking you up and down. And one of them decides to drop something right in front of you and flies off. And the other one caws and it flies off.
I'm gonna pick that thing up.
You pick it up, and in the palm of your hand is a very smooth looking stone with the symbol of Hetia carved on it. It looks like your little goddess wants to meet you.
She's gonna
And-
put that in her pocket.
Yeah. And that is where I'm going to call it because I ran out of stuff.
Ooh.
You know, that's valid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did my flirting work?
Crying, I don't even get to go to my church.
You will next time because I totally, like, I had things set up and then, like, I lost the save files for the other churches and I was like,
Aww.
Aw.
Oh
Tragic.
Next time.
Also,
Next
I
time.
100% did not expect to stay here this long. I was just going to be like, yeah, hit stop. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, same.
yeah.
I expected we would be here a little bit because of Demaya, and then I saw there was another token character. I was like, no one's interacting with her. Someone should probably do that.
Do either of you sit there and you're looking at the other people like, hey, maybe they should go do something because I clearly can't?
Hey, listen. They're the new people. They should be introducing themselves to everyone. That's my argument. I'm justifying myself with that.
Uh-huh.
No,
Nice
you're justifying.
justification.
no! Flirting work is all I really need to know.
Flirting work.